Hi guys, Jim here with another Cracking the Cryptic presented Sudoku video. Cracking the Cryptic are the guys who have collated these puzzles and sold them to me, but also to you if you wish, on Steam or on your phone. If you like Sudoku puzzles, cannot encourage it enough. I think they are some of the best puzzles I've ever seen. They are handcrafted. They start hard and get harder, so do bear that in mind. But they're handcrafted. The logic is impeccable, and they have handwritten hints to guide you through if you do get stuck. There are 7 apps out at the moment, which actually there might be 8. No, there are 8. Sorry, I keep saying there's 7. There's 8 apps, 7 of which I'm playing through at the moment, and they present different variants on the classic Sudoku puzzle. This is a miracle Sudoku, so what do I mean by that? Well, I'll explain as I get in. But yeah, there's 6 other variants that they do. But also they're a YouTube channel, and they put daily videos up of them solving puzzles from Sudoku to otherworldly things that I can't even barely explain. And they're brilliant. So, check out their channel, check out the apps for sale. Definitely worth it if you are a fan. They're not too expensive or anything like that. And there's 100 puzzles, and they're all brilliant. And they get very, very hard. Yeah, now I am going to tuck into a lovely miracle puzzle. Miracle puzzles are I think it's definitely my favorite collection. Some of them are better than others. The last video I did was this puzzle here. Look at that. Look at that Sudoku. How's that a Sudoku? Oh, amazing. Ignore my best time. That's because I transferred my save file onto my PC. Anyway, right. Today we're playing puzzle number 62, which is a 2-star difficulty puzzle. And you can see it's got very, very few digits again. A bit more than last time, but still. This is a non-consecutive night Sudoku. So what that means is that in addition to the usual rules of Sudoku, or every box, every column, every row, have to have the digits 1 through 9, they also have a non-consecutive constraint, which means that you can't put a 7 next to an 8, or a 2 next to a 3, or a 1, or a 4 next to a 5, right? So non-consecutive, they can't be in order in the number line. And then knight's move is a bit harder to explain. So in chess, a knight can move. So if a knight was here in chess, it could move here, 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 or here. That's just how a knight moves, right? It goes 2 up and 1 along. And it jumps over the pieces. Not that that's relevant. So what a knight Sudoku is it tells you that this cell cannot be the same as that cell, and that this cell cannot be the same as that cell, and this cell cannot be the same as that cell. So in addition to that cell, so this cell obviously can't be the same as this cell because it's in the same box. So they will have to be different. It also can't be that one. And that makes for some really beautiful logic, and as you can see, very few digits given in the grid. What I will say is the software that I'm using here, it's not really software per se, but the game itself, the way this has been programmed, it actually highlights the cells that are impacted. So if you think this cell, right, this one here, hopefully you can see my cursor, that cell could obviously see all of these ones, so no digit can repeat in these highlighted cells, but they also can't go here or here or here or here or here or here by the knight's move. Now that's quite a bit to keep track of in your head. Some people can, not me. So if you click on that cell, the yellow highlighting is what that represents, which is, you can turn it off if you think that's too easy. I think it's great. So yeah, that's the rule. Let's get going. Now what's interesting actually, having clicked on this cell, these cells all have the same property, right? So this cell, this cell, this cell, and this cell see these 4 cells. In this box, they see everything apart from these 4 cells. So the only cells these could be is 6, 9, 5, or 8. And I say that because think about if this was a 5. No, sorry. Maybe I'm talking complete nonsense. Well, it can't be a 5 anyway. No, I think I'm going mad. Ignore my logic there. Ignore my logic. No, maybe I am on something. Well, yeah. So could this cell be something other than this? So could this cell be a 1? No, because where would you put a 1 in this box? It's ruled out of everything. Could this cell be a 2? No, because it's ruled out. So it has to be one of the cells already in the box. Because you can see they're white, which means they're not impacted. So yeah, so all 4 of these, interestingly, are the cells 6, 9, 5, and 8. And in fact, I think each one of these has a pair sort of given to you. So these obviously can't be a 5 or a 6 because of the row. And these obviously can't be a 5 or a 9. So these are, I'm instantly gifted with this 6, 8, and 5 and 8, 9 pair, which is quite nice. I don't think that's where you're supposed to start really, but yeah, I found that interesting. Okay, so where can 7 go in this box? Well, 7 can't go next to an 8, and it can't go next to a 6. So there's only one space for it. So 7 must go there. Okay, and that immediately bounces around, certainly to this box, doesn't it? So 7 can't go next to a 6, and it can't go in any of the highlighted cells. These 2 by Knight's Move, and this 2 by the row. So 7 is limited to these 2 cells in this box, which is useful. I can't quite play the same game. So what am I missing now? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes. 4 can't go next to the 5, of course. So these are excuse me, my notation is still slightly off because I've changed. There we go. Right, bear with me one sec. What best? I'll just do that. That's a 7. This was a 1, 2, 3, 4. These 2 couldn't be 4, and then this was an 8, 9 pair, and this was a 8, 6 pair. Yes, that's where we were. Okay, fine. Sorry, that's the notation I was using was slightly awry because I've just moved my game file. Okay, onto a different computer. Right. So in this box, where does 9 go? 9 can't go next to the 8, and these 2 9s mean that it must go here. So it's limited to one of 2 places. In this box, 9 is limited to one of 2 places, like that. I can't imagine 9s are going to give us too much fruit. I mean, I think when you have non-consecutive, you always want to kind of be like, okay, where does 7 go? Because there's lots of 6s and 8s, and they obviously impact 7. So 7 is probably the best digit to start looking at. Although that said, I don't get a great deal. I mean, 7 is in one of those, but I kind of knew that already because of the 7 in the column. Okay, where does 8 go in this box? This is a good question to ask. Where does 8 go in this box? Can't go next to the 9. Can't go next to this 9. You see, that 9 is outside of the box, but still there. So it, in fact, must go here. That gives us this 6, which is useful. That's very useful, actually, because now I know 6s are trapped up there. Does this 8 do me? Yeah, so the 8s are now trapped to 2 cells in that box. I'll make a note of that. In this box, 8s are still quite free to roam, aren't they? Okay, yeah, but not here. So, yeah, Knight's Move is very powerful. If a cell is in the middle of its box, it rules out the immediate row outside it. So 8s, so these 2 8s gang up in this box. This must be an 8, and therefore this must be a 9. 9s over here gang up on that box as follows. What else do 8s tell us? Do they tell us anything? We must have an 8. That's really interesting. So there's an 8. Okay. So ignoring. So okay. So I know 8s go here, but even if 8s went here, could this be a 7? I don't think it could. So I pencil mark that that could be a 7, right? So, okay, let me step back. So that 8 and that 8 mean in this box, the 8 is up here. Now, if that was a 7, that would force an 8 to go into one of those two cells, and obviously it would be next to it. So that can't be a 7. So that is the 7. So that's really nice. That makes a 7 go over there. Right, and then concluding that, the 8s, I have 8s here now, because obviously that couldn't be an 8 either. 8 in this box is restricted to 2 cells. That's quite useful. They are in 3 cells there, so that's not as useful. Okay, that might be all my 8s fun for now. Okay, can I do any damage on 5s? Surely yes, because I've got 5s limited in this box, and it can't go next to the 6 either. So 5 is limited to 2 cells there. Oh, I just noticed 6s are quite powerful here, aren't they? Because then 6s rule those out, and then you can't put 6 next to a 5. So that's a... sorry, you can't put 6 next to that 5 either. So that is a 6, which means that's a 9, which means that's a 9 by my earlier pencil marking. Then we have 9s locked into one of 2 spaces in that box. Sorry, I was on 5s, wasn't I? Yeah, so 5's there. 5s are up there, which isn't so useful. What about this box? Okay, so 5s are here because of these 2, and then this 6 rules that one out. I keep flipping back to 8s because I feel like I should be able to get more out of them. I mean, is it worth asking where the 7s go in this box? Yeah, that's not that useful, is it? 7s go here. What columns? Columns are not so useful, are they? Not yet, anyway. Not columns or rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know that there's a 4 here in one of those 2 cells, and I know there's a 4 here in one of those 2 cells. So either that and that are a 4, or that and that are a 4. So either way, that's definitely not a 4. I can tell you that. Okay, so here's some nice logic. So where does 9 go in this box? Well, these two 9s rule it out of here. And now we have this interesting thing where you have 2 8s here. Now, could a 9 go in either of these? Well, it can't, because if you put a 9 there, that makes that an 8, and then you have an 8 next to a 9. So this must be a 9, and there, actually, that means this must be the 8. And I think that's going to do a reasonable amount of damage. Yeah, that's suddenly given us all our 9s, and I think that's going to give us, yeah, so in this box, 8s can't go here. These 2 8s up the top rule these out, and then you can't put an 8 next to a 9, so 8 can only go there in that box. 8s are locked. Okay, lovely. And then in this box, 8s are in one of these 3. Well, that's next to a 9, and that's a nice move from that 8. So 8s go here, which actually gives us a bonus 5 as well. That 8 gives us this 8, and then that 8 gives us this 8, and this 5, as it happens. So suddenly 8s and 9s are just done from nowhere. Surely that means I can do some work on 7s now, surely. 7s are limited to 2 cells in this box, which is useful, but not as useful as I'd have hoped. Oh no, that is useful. That is useful. So in this box, where can a 7 go? Well, you can't put it next to an 8, and you can't put it next to a 6. So none of these two can be a 7, and then you've got this virtual 7 down here, ruling that one out. So that must be the 7. And then in this box, you have 7 can't be here or here because of these 7s over there. And then it can't be next to the 8. So this is or the 6. So it's literally the same logic as before. So that's the 7. Okay, good. And then in this, yes. So 7s can't be next to the 8, and that 7 is ruling that out. So 7 is limited here for sure, and then that plays onto this cell, into this box, because that now can't be a 7. So that's a 7. Right, I knew I could do some damage on 7s. In this box, 7s are limited to 2 cells by Sudoku. And then they can go there by whatever. Right, 6s are limited here. Is that interesting? That is actually more interesting than it looks at first glance, right? So because 6s are here, I don't know which order they go in, but either way, they rule these cells out. So if you highlight both, if you highlight 2 cells, it shows you which cells in common can't be seen by this. So I know you can't put 6 there, because if you did, you wouldn't be able to put 6 in either of those, because that one would be crushed by the row, and that would be crushed by the knight's move. So that can't be a 6. And then this 6 rules that one out as well. So actually, suddenly these are all ruled out. So there's a 6 here. Now, is that interesting? Well, it can't go next to the 5. Okay, so that is interesting, because now we've got 6s locked into 2 rows in these 2 boxes. And so that means if you look across, can you put any more 6s in these rows? Well, no, you can't, because you either need to do that pattern or that pattern, and either way, you've got a 6 in both rows. So there is definitely a 6 here. It can't go next to the 7, so that is a 6. Wow, that was a long logic train. But that's useful, isn't it? Because that then sorts out that 6, and that sorts out this 7 up in the top, which surely, no, I was going to say that finishes 7s, but it doesn't, does it? No, we still have this. We have an X-wing bit of business going on, don't we? Okay. So 6s and 7s are pretty much done. Okay, let's have a look at 5s then. 5s, yeah, okay, so the same logic then. So 5s in this box are ruled out of those by these 2. So can you put 5 here? Well, no, because then it would be going next to a 6. So that is a 5. And that makes this a 5. And that makes this a 5. So actually, I managed to sort out 5s before 6s and 7s. Well, actually, I could have paused briefly, because then this 5 is next to this cell, which can't therefore be a 6. So 6s are sorted, and then that 6 is next to the 7, and so suddenly 7s are sorted. So actually, they kind of all came through at the same time. Good for them. Now, I've got this far, and I haven't got a single 1, 2, 3, or 4. I've got some pencil marking in the middle. So this is going to be a little bit of, I don't know, spot the weak link. Because, okay, in this box, where does 4 go? Can't go next to that 5, and can't go next to that 5. So that must be a 4. That gives us a 4 over here. Suddenly, that can't be a 4, because it'd be next to that 5, so that's a 4. Still next to that 5, so there's a 4 in one of these 2, which means, what does that mean? So, yeah, okay, because that can't be a 4, because it'd be next to 5, so that's a 4. There's a 4 in one of these 2. Ah, yes, and then these 4s come into the good, so that's a 4. Either of these 2 could be a 4, and I think that's okay. What about this box? Yeah, this box, that's a 4. That's a 4, because that's the only one left over, and then that's a 4. So suddenly, it just works. It's amazing. Okay, the power of non-consecutive Sudoku. Okay, so there's definitely a 3 down here, because that 4 rules that one out. There's definitely, okay, yeah, so this box, these 2 cells are next to 4s. So that's a 3, that's a 3, that's a 3. That can't be a 3. Oh, in this box, actually, yeah, that's just a 3 because of the 3 in the column. That's therefore a 3. In this box, that's going to be, one of those two is definitely going to be a 3. Can I do more? Yes, this 3 in the row sorts out that one, so that's a 3, that's a 3, and that's a 3, and finally that's a 3. Right, and then I'm just looking for an empty box next to a 3, because now this box here cannot be a 2, so you know it's a 1. And then that's a 2, and that's a 1, and that's a 2, and that's a 1, and that's a 2, that's a 1, and that's a 2. Oh, I didn't put the 4 in here, how foolish. That's a 1, and that's a 2. Ooh, my logic stampede had to stop there. That's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 2, and then finally, that's a 1. I love a miracle Sudoku. They work. It's just, it's so good. Once it starts, it's difficult to start, and then like it just opens the floodgates. So anyway, look, I love that puzzle. I do like Knight. Knight is my favorite chess by miles. So Knight and non-consecutive make a really interesting logical kind of combination for me. Which, you know, I can only give you my opinion. I thought that was a cracking puzzle. Anyway, so only 2-star difficulty though, and you can see you have to think. You do have to think. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know I did. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.